In the finals of last season, Jimmy Butler made it to the finals for the second time in his career. He carried his team, the Miami Heat, single-handedly through the elimination games. However, in the most crucial matches, fortune wasn't on his side. Just a few weeks later, Butler will begin his 13th season in the league and consequently his 13th attempt to become a champion. But today we'll talk about those who never reached the peak of our beloved association. Hello to all lovers of the best game with the ball. My name is Ibra and this is the top 10 legends who never became NBA champions. Let's go. 10th place, Andrei Kirilenko. Yes, maybe a bit based, but Andrei AK-47 Kirilenko opens our top legends. Champion, MVP of Eurobasket, bronze medalist at the Olympic Games, All-Star Game participant, three-time member of the NBA's all-defensive teams, and God forgive me, champion of the VTB United League. Kirilenko spent 12 seasons in the NBA and came closest to the title in 2007, when his Utah Jazz made it to the Western Conference Finals. However, the mighty San Antonio Spurs, led by Tim Duncan, rolled over all their opponents that year. It's also worth noting that Kirilenko played 2 seasons with possibly the best duo in NBA history, Carmelo and John Stockton, but in those years they couldn't make it past the first round. Who knows, if Kirilenko had been a couple of years older, maybe he wouldn't have made it into this list. 9th place, Tracy McGrady. Arguably the most individually talented player on this list, but why only 9th? The fact is that Tracy McGrady never managed to make it past the second round of the playoffs. Sometimes it was bad luck. Remember Grant Hill's injury of the departure from Orlando after they picked up Dwight Howard. Sometimes it was injuries like in 2010 when Houston made it to the second round but McGrady didn't play. Tracy came closest to a championship after his trip to China in 2013 when he joined San Antonio Spurs. He even played 6 games in that playoffs, averaging 5 minutes per game. However, in that year's finals, the Spurs had different plans, which meant one of the brightest players in history and the author of the greatest comeback, 13 points in 35 seconds, never lifted that coveted trophy. 8th place, Vince Carter. Vince Carter, a longtime NBA player, had 22 attempts at conquering the association but failed. He came closest to a title in 2010 with the Orlando Magic, where they stopped just a step away from the finals. As a leader, Carter reached the second round twice in 2001 and 2006. Perhaps the most memorable moment of Carter's playoff career was his series against Philadelphia and Allen Iverson. Vince averaged 30 points per game in that series, but unfortunately, the deciding shot with 2 seconds left in Game 7 was missed. Ironically, exactly 18 years later, a similar moment occurred in the series between Toronto and Philadelphia, which Kawhi Leonard made. Who knows, had Carter made that shot, maybe he wouldn't become a champion. 7th place, Patrick Ewing. Even 38 years later, rumors still swirl around the 1985 draft lottery. You can Google the details yourself, but the fact remains that the New York Knicks, the most controversial franchise, picked young Patrick Ewing with the first overall pick. Ewing mostly played in the 1990s, so let's look at his attempts to win a title during this period. In 1991, they lost in the first round. In 1992, it was the second round. In 1993, they lost in the third round. And every time, the team that stopped him from advancing was the mighty Chicago Bulls, with Michael Jordan dominating the game. However, after winning his third title, Jordan shocked the league by announcing his first retirement, which seemed like the perfect movement for Ewing. The Knicks made it to the finals but faced the tall Houston Rockets. Unfortunately, Ewing and John Starks failed in Game 7, allowing the Rockets to win the game 1984, and Hakeem Olajuwon won his first title. In the following year, the Rockets defended their title, and Michael Jordan returned for 3 more years, preventing anyone from taking the trophy. Ewing's last attempt came in 1999, when the Knicks lost 4-1 to San Antonio in the finals. 6th place, Reggie Miller. One of the best shooters in history and a legend for the Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller closes the first half of our list. Nowadays, NBA stars prefer to join super teams to have a better chance at a championship, but for Reggie Miller, this was never an option. He spent all 18 years of his career with the one team, and that's partly why he never became a champion. However, he had opportunities. For 3 seasons in a row, he was a constant participant in the Eastern Conference Finals. In 1998, on the decline of Michael Jordan's career, Indiana and Chicago had a fantastic 7-game series that was decided at the very end. In 1999, Indiana lost to New York, but in 2000s, they got revenge and made it to the finals. Ironically, after defeating one great dynasty, the Pacers faced another one in the form of Kobe and Shaq's Lakers and lost 2-4. Perhaps if Miller had joined a stronger team like the Knicks, he could have won a title. 5th place, Stephen Nash. Stephen Nash could have been a famous football or hockey player, but he chose basketball. Nash was extremely successful in the regular season, twice named MVP. However, in the playoffs, things didn't go as smoothly. In his 18-year career, Nash made it to the conference finals only 4 times, but he never made it to the finals. Interestingly, he is the only player on the list who could have become an NBA champion as a coach, but his bad luck with Kyrie Irving's attitude and the Brooklyn Nets locker room sabotage prevented the former MVP from leading them to a title. 4th place, Charles Barkley. Another victim of the Michael Jordan era, the first 8 years of Barkley's career were spent with the Philadelphia 76ers, where he twice lost in the playoffs to Chicago's Jordan. After not making the playoffs in 1992, Barkley was traded to the Phoenix Suns, where he had the best season of his career, even winning MVP of the regular season, averaging 25.6 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He led Phoenix to the top of the Western Conference, but in the playoffs, they eventually made it to the finals. Unfortunately, Barkley couldn't help the Suns win, and the Bulls claimed their 3rd title in a row. After that, Barkley's career took a downward turn due to injuries, and in 1999-2000, he retired after a farewell game. 3rd place, John Stockton. John Stockton, the leader in assists and steals in NBA history, is the only player in the first half of my list without an MVP title. He's considered one of the best point guards of the 90s. Interestingly, Stockton was the leader of the 1992 Dream Team, the US men's basketball team in Barcelona. Over 19 years, Stockton spent his entire career with the Utah Jazz, leading them to the finals twice, but unfortunately both times they fell short. Both times the culprit was none other than Michael Jordan. You can see the details of both finals in the video. We move on. 2nd place, Karl Malone. Right behind the best point guard in history is the man who received all of his passes, Karl Malone. Malone was a 2-time MVP, the oldest player to ever win the MVP award. He was also a 14-time All-Star and regular on the All-Defensive teams. Malone finished his career 3rd on the all-time scoring list. According from the legendary finals of 1997 and 1998, Karl had another shot at the title in 2003 when he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. However, injuries kept him from playing most of the season, and despite being part of a star duo with Kobe and Shaq, the Lakers' problems on and off the court prevented Malone from winning. His final opportunity came when the Lakers lost in the playoffs and Malone retired without a championship. 1st place, Allen Iverson. Forget all the achievements, forget the opinions of experts, statistics, and all that. What matters most to me is the impact on the game and culture. In the regard, Iverson ranks alongside Kobe, Michael, and LeBron. Everyone's seen the guys on the court with the arm sleeves and headbands trying to copy his crossover move. That's Iverson's legacy. He may not have been the most efficient player or the best example off the court, but the fact that millions of people worldwide fell in love with the basketball because of him is more important than all the championships in the world. Iverson's achievements though include an MVP title, 11 All-Star appearances, and of course making it to the finals and winning the first game against the invincible Lakers, possibly the greatest team of all time. All this together makes Iverson the greatest without a ring. What do you think? Which is more important, titles or influence on the culture? That was my personal subjective top 1 legends without an NBA title. If you disagree with me, write your own version of the top in the comments. For example, close calls included Carmelo Anthony, Chris Webber, even Yao Ming. Hit like and subscribe to the channel. Love basketball, play basketball. See you.